Yo, chat, what it do? Oh, your G.
Arts just south of the bright lights of New York City, in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where Jalen grew up. His father, Rick, was a professional basketball player, spending time in the NBL and CBA, in addition to having a lengthy 9-year NBA career, where he played for multiple teams. Because of this, Jalen basically grew up in NBA locker rooms.
You grew up around the NBA, right? Your dad, Rick, he actually played for the Knicks.
He did. Yeah, he played for the 99 team when we went to the finals, so he brought them a little good luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember just being a kid and having Knicks stuff around. We still have old Knicks blankets from when he played, so it's pretty special.
While his father was with the Knicks, he brought Jalen around so much that the ushers and attendants knew him by name. And when his mother Sandra noticed that his only friends were Knicks stars Larry Johnson and Marcus Camby, she enrolled him in pre-K to socialize with kids his own age.
I just remember like when I used to meet like players like that, like it became normal. When I used to bring friends around, like, oh, like you met this person, that person. I'm like, yeah, I met him, but I see him all the time.
But after growing up around the game like that, Jalen only wanted to do one thing with his life. He wanted to play ball, just like his dad.
The love of basketball was evident to me, honestly, since the day I was born. I was always surrounded by it.
Then in 2006, when Jalen was 10 years old, things changed. He tagged along with his dad to a preseason practice with the 76ers. And when they arrived, Rick was informed that he had been cut. Rick dreaded telling his basketball-obsessed son the news, and even more so because he knew he was going to retire rather than seeking another non-guaranteed journeyman contract. But before leaving the 76ers locker room, Rick conveyed a message to his son. If you really want this man, you've got to work like nobody's business. A message that really stuck with Jalen. And though his father's playing career ended, his coaching career began. But it came with struggle for the Brunson family. They would have to move 7 times in the coming years for various coaching jobs. But throughout the turmoil, one thing was constant for Jalen: basketball. In the 7th grade, he quit all other sports to focus strictly on hoops. And this is also when his dad became his one-on-one trainer.
Don't slow up. No. Full speed. Here. Jump. Take you into your shot. Go.
They would train rigorously 3 times a week for the rest of his time in middle school before progressing to daily sessions in high school.
I think I learned how to work when I got to league. I didn't really understand how hard I had to work before. So I instilled that in Jalen, at a young age to kind of eliminate the fact of just trying to make it every year. I think he put himself in a great position.
High school is also when Jalen finally had a consistent living situation as his family settled down in Lincolnshire, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. And it didn't take long for all the work Jalen and his father had put in to pay off on the court. While playing at Stevenson High School, Jalen became a school legend. He earned an All-Lake County honorable mention as a freshman, but his sophomore year is when he really started to shine.
Little things. Little things that add up to something big through the power of Dell AI with Intel Inside. Delivering wins that change the game for everyone.
So what's the play? This is it, Ethan. Your final reckoning.
Godspeed, mister.
Mission Impossible, rated PG-13.
After starting the year with a 10-4 record, Jalen led Stevenson on a 19-game winning streak, culminating in a state championship game clash against the 3-time defending champs, Simeon Career Academy, led by Jabari Parker and Kendrick Nunn. And Brunson fell short. Despite his best efforts, the game ended 58-40 in Simeon's favor, and Jalen was held to just 1 point in the entire second half. Brunson finished the season averaging 21.5 points per game and was named All-State second team, being the only sophomore with an All-State nomination. The next year, Stevenson returned to the playoffs, this time with an unbelievable 32-1 record. They played against the Jalil Okafor-led Whitney Young High School in the semifinals, and Jalen scored a record-setting 56 points in the game. But Stevenson lost once again, 75-68. That shouldn't take away from Brunson's performance that season, though. He averaged 26.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 2.9 steals. He also won Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Illinois and was the only junior to make the All-State first team. At this point, Jalen started getting the national recognition he deserved. He was a 5-star recruit and the #1 ranked player in the state of Illinois. He received scholarship offers from over 8 different colleges, but prior to his senior season, announced that he would be committing to Villanova. During his last year of high school ball, Brunson continued to impress. He set the career record for scoring in Lake County. But more importantly, he led Stevenson to yet another place in the state championship game. And this time, they won. Brunson dropped 30, with the game ending 57-40.
It was just so emotional that day. I can't even explain it. I mean, it was one of the best times of my life. Hugging my parents after the game.
There's so many rare moments me and my dad have.
On a 19-game winning streak, culminating in a state championship game clash against the 3-time defending champs, Simeon Career Academy, led by Jabari Parker and Kendrick Nunn. And Brunson fell short. Despite his best efforts, the game ended 58-40 in Simeon's favor, and Jalen was held to just 1 point in the entire second half. Brunson finished the season averaging 21.5 points per game and was named All-State second team, being the only sophomore with an All-State nomination. The next year, Stevenson returned to the playoffs, this time with an unbelievable 32-1 record. They played against the Jalil Okafor-led Whitney Young High School in the semifinals, and Jalen scored a record-setting 56 points in the game. But Stevenson lost once again, 75-68. That shouldn't take away from Brunson's performance that season, though. He averaged 26.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 2.9 steals. He also won Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Illinois and was the only junior to make the All-State first team. Whoa. At this point, Jalen started getting the national recognition he deserved. He was a 5-star recruit and the #1 ranked player in the state of Illinois. He received scholarship offers from over 8 different colleges, but prior to his senior season, announced that he would be committing to Villanova. During his last year of high school ball, Brunson continued to impress. He set the career record for scoring in Lake County. But more importantly, he led Stevenson to yet another place in the state championship game. And this time, they won. Brunson dropped 30, with the game ending 57-40.
It was just so emotional that day.
He was really balling from the jump. Cat. He was going crazy. My son trying to win a championship for the Knicks. That shit gonna be epic. That shit epic. Being from New York, what? Gotta say this shit to Facebook. Get a new mic. Not for me to get a mic.
Man, I can't even explain it. I mean, it was one of the best times of my life. Hugging my parents after the game.
There's so many rare moments me and my dad have a moment like that, and it was just really emotional.
After falling short of 2 state championships, Jalen finally reached the mountaintop. He was named Illinois Mr. Basketball and repeated as Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year. And as that chapter closed, Brunson's focus shifted to college ball. And as the top recruit, the pressure was on for him to perform right away. And perform he did. With Jalen as the starter, the Wildcats quickly climbed to the top of the college rankings, finishing the season as the 6th-ranked team in the country. When the NCAA tournament rolled around, Brunson was ready to prove himself on a national stage. Villanova steamrolled the competition before meeting the #1 overall team, Kansas, in the Elite Eight. The game was one for the ages, both teams trading blows down the stretch, but the Wildcats held on to win on the back of 2 clutch free throws by Brunson that iced the game.
Only right we
Villanova
start this
went on to
Twitch life.
dismantle Oklahoma in the Final Four, leading to a national
Not the
championship
bowl.
matchup with North Carolina. In what was one of the greatest college basketball games in history, the Wildcats once again got it done by way of a buzzer-beating three from Chris Jenkins.
Okay.
Lesson number 23. If you know
That
you built
feeling is
different,
the craziest feeling, hitting the buzzer beater. I played ball all my life.
And
Hold on, I played ball all my life, so I know that buzzer beating feeling. You feel me? Oh, it feel good to hit that game-winning shot. Yeah, it feel good in 21 when you pull up. Hit it from 3. Feel me? It'd be
Brunson mainly
crazy.
played a complimentary role. He was still a starter on a national championship winning team as a freshman. But just like in high school, his sophomore year, he exploded. Villanova was even better, finishing the season as the #1 ranked team in the country. And this time around, Jalen wasn't a role player. He was the second leading scorer on the team, averaging 14.7 points and 4.1 assists.
Okay.
He was also a unanimous selection for the Big East first team. While the Wildcats would get bounced in the second round of the NCAA.
We got the squad. We got the squad. And it's crazy because Josh Hart got the black eye and Brunson good now. That's crazy.
Tournament, that was just a setup for an insane redemption story for Brunson's junior season.
Probably the biggest obstacle for him was not being the go-to guy. In his third year, he was the go-to guy, and then the obstacle was, how do I make sure I'm the go-to guy and I keep everybody else involved?
And it was in his junior season that he established himself as the best player in college basketball. Villanova was once again dominant, finishing the season ranked second overall.
He going
and Brunson
crazy.
led the team with 18.9 points and 4.6 assists per game.
So he been cooking all his life. This ain't nothing new. Feel me? Doing it for New York is even better. Because that just give him a crazy story to tell to his children. That's fire. Ain't gonna lie to y'all. More to come, I guess, right? Let's see.
But when tournament time came around, the Wildcats took their game to a whole nother level. They won every tournament game by double digits on their way to another NCAA title.
I really cannot put this into words at all. I just love my brothers. I love my team. I love Nova Nation. It's just spectacular.
Jalen's been questioned at each level. He was a dominant high school player, and a lot of people said, well, he's not going to be able to dominate like that in college. He'll be a good college player.
Now look at him now. That boy going to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go. Different. Not messing.
He goes on to be National Player of the Year.
National
Brunson
Player
won
of the
just
Year.
about every college award in
Undersized.
basketball, completing one of the greatest college careers we've ever seen. With nothing more to prove, following the season, Jalen declared for the NBA draft. And with a resume as impressive as his, you would expect him to be a lottery pick. But we all know that's not what happened. The 2018 NBA draft was absolutely stacked. At the top, you had players like DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, and Trae Young. But there were also absolute gems scattered throughout the draft, like SGA at pick 11, Michael Porter Jr. at pick 14, and Anthony Simons at pick Doncic. Absolutely stacked. At the top, you had players like DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, and Trae Young. But there were also
Look at the squad. Like, our NBA in good hands right now. We in good hands. Look at this squad. A lot of them doing their thing in the playoffs, having good runs on good teams. So definitely gems.
absolute gems scattered throughout the draft, like SGA.
I ain't gonna
pick
cap
11.
though. The young fit was
But
horrible.
there were also absolute
This nigga fit is horrible. Who told you to put on shorts?
gems scattered throughout
This guy
the draft,
Emmanuel.
like SGA at pick 11,
This man
Michael
Emmanuel.
Porter Jr. at pick 14, and Anthony Simons at pick 24. But easily the biggest steal of the entire draft came at the third pick of the second round, where the Dallas Mavericks selected
Jalen Brunson from Villanova University,
completing one of the best drafts in recent memory for an individual team, as they landed Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson in one fell swoop. It's still hard to believe that Jalen fell as far down the draft order as he did. He had
That's
NBA
crazy.
pedigree and an unbelievable record of winning at every level.
Sometimes, you know what's crazy? They fall, the nicest ones fall, but have the best stories to tell. The door story's gonna be crazy. Watch. The Shador fell wild far in the NFL draft, so it's like, watch he gonna show up and show out, just like Jalen.
How is he so overlooked? Well, many experts thought that Jalen's game wouldn't translate well to the league. By NBA standards, he was undersized and unathletic, expected to be a liability on defense, and nothing more than a career backup. But per usual, the experts were wrong. Brunson's first season in the NBA was pretty uneventful. He was buried on the depth chart behind 2 lottery picks in Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic. So
it's at Dennis Smith Jr., Luka, and this nigga. The Dallas Mavericks had drafted 3. Yo, I am crying. Well, I didn't know this.
He was buried on the depth chart behind 2 lottery picks.
Bro, boom.
Picks in Dennis Smith Jr. and
Boom.
Luka Doncic. So that was to be expected.
Boom. Ain't no way. Dallas don't got no ring right now today. No way. Like, not counting Dirk. I'm talking about after them. What the fuck? Look at the squad they had.
But that doesn't mean he wasn't taking advantage of every opportunity he got. Like in February, when he started in place of Luka and put up 22 points, a career high at the time, which he went on to beat in March when he dropped 34 points on the Spurs.
Oh, they're
By the end of the season, he had
they're dumb. So basically, he's kicking ass, going crazy. Y'all still didn't catch the. Oh my God.
Established himself as the Mavs' 6th man and proved that they could lean on him when Luka needed a break. But then Jalen faced the first major setback of his career. A little over halfway through his second season, he had to get shoulder surgery to repair a torn labrum and would miss the remainder of the year. All the groundwork he had put in was now in jeopardy.
They played with him. No cap. He could have took over Luka's spot and they knew it. Not to say like I don't like Luka. I'm just saying. The boy probably could have worked it out. They gave him surgery. Took him out the game for a little. That's crazy. That's tough. It's tough.
It's impossible to know how a player will recover from a major injury, and a shoulder injury can be devastating for basketball players. But Brunson was used to adversity, and he came back from injury better than ever.
Shoulders 100%. I'm ready to go. Plain and simple.
He set career highs across the board in his 3rd year, averaging 12.6 points, 3.5 assists, and 3.4 rebounds per game, and finished 4th in the 6th Man of the Year voting. The Mavs also finished 5th in the West that year, which meant Brunson would get his first taste of the playoffs. And to say his first playoff series went poorly would be an understatement. The Mavericks lost in 7 games, and Brunson's numbers went down in every category from the regular season. But his most glaring statistic was his abysmal plus-minus of -56. After that, the Mavs decided not to offer Brunson a contract extension. They did, however, pick up the team option that brought him back to Dallas for a 4th year. And the Mavs would live to regret not extending Jalen after that 3rd season when his value was low. Because in year 4, he became a star. Brunson used that bad playoff series as motivation and came back a man possessed. He was finally named a starter to start the 2021-22 season, and that quickly paid off for Dallas.
There was a period where Luka went out, and I started to start.
His mid-range game is crazy. Boy, be tweaking with the midi, like. Boy, be tweaking with that midi. Nice. Somebody said Knicks win the chip, NYC would burn. Facts. They gonna blow us up. I forbid, but dang. They gonna turn up on us. Let me not say that.
I was playing really well. I think I was averaging like 20 and like 6 maybe, whatever.
Jalen averaged 16.3 points, 4.8 assists, and 3.9 rebounds during the regular season, and the Mavs finished 4th in the West. And while the regular season numbers were nice, Brunson was after redemption in the playoffs, and he got it in spades. In the first round against the Jazz, Luka missed the first 3 games to injury, and Brunson carried the Mavs. They lost Game 1, but in Game 2, Jalen exploded for 41 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds in a 110-104 win.
The second game, I think he had like 45, something like that. Really impressed. You know, I was just on the bench watching, like, wow, this guy's amazing.
He then followed that up with a 31-point, 6-assist performance in Game 3 for another win. So, without Luka, Dallas was leading the series 2-1.
When people counted us out because Luka was out, it kind of like lit a fire in all of us. I mean, you see stuff like that, like the chatter, it's impossible not to see. And then guys, we send it to each other, we're like, yo, like, people don't think like we're capable. And obviously, once Luka came back, that it was all said and done.
Doncic returned for Game 4.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop Memorial Day savings on LG appliances and get appliances that last with helpful features you can rely on for years and years to come. Now at the Home Depot.
Asia Wilson's on top, top, top. Can't take her spot. She won MVP, PP, 1, 2.
And the Mavs went on to win the series in 6 games. But Brunson's numbers were beyond impressive, averaging 27.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 4.8 rebounds for the series. Then, in the second round against the Suns, he was fantastic again. Dallas won the series in 7 games, and Jalen averaged 18.7 points. Just a year after being bounced in the first round, and perhaps the worst stretch of basketball in Brunson's career, he helped lead the Mavs to the conference finals. And while they would go on to lose against the eventual champion Golden State Warriors, Brunson proved to the world that he was for real. And even
it's crazy how he was like damn near 6 man. He had to really step up in the ranks when it came to this basketball shit. It was crazy. Like, he had to really do what he had to do and show and prove. And he behind Luka. He got Dennis Smith Jr. The boy got mad people. Tim Hardaway Jr. on the team. There's mad people he got to shine through. He shined through, held it down for 3 games. Then Luka came back on the 4th game. Them niggas went crazy. So it's like, that's some fight. Some fight.
more importantly, his price went up. It was clear that Jalen was a star, and for the Mavericks, it was too late.
I really did want to stay in Dallas. Before my 4th season in Dallas, my last season in Dallas, we tried to extend our contract. Whatever 4th season in Dallas, my last season in Dallas, we tried to extend our contract. Whatever we can get, the most we can get was like 4 years and $55 million. And so, obviously, we wanted to do that. I wanted to stay there. I thought I would be there for a long time. And I like my role there. Trade deadline comes, I'm not getting extended, I'm probably gonna get traded. The way I've been playing, like there's just like, playing well, right? I'm playing somewhat decent.
After years of being on the team, Dallas's front office failed to evaluate his value, and they couldn't afford him anymore. Plenty of teams were willing to pay for Brunson's services, but one team quickly emerged as the obvious destination for him. The New York Knicks had recently hired his father, Rick, as an assistant coach, and the team president, Leon Rose, was his
yeah, that's
agent.
set up.
So,
that was
after
fire.
mailing out the details on a 4-year, $104 million contract, Jalen was headed back to the locker room he grew up in as a kid. He was a New York Knick, a move that...
Imagine that film. Yo, chat. Imagine that film. You grow up here. Your father work here. You go on there every trip. The staff people know you by your first name. You just doing your thing. You just living life. You follow your dream. The next thing you know, you become him on a team, but the team don't really need you. But they need you, but they can't afford you. But then your father just become an assistant head coach or some shit on a team that you grew up on. What? I'm going there. That's the first option. I don't care who offered what money. My pop's over there. I'm going over there. This is legacy. This is family tree. We going crazy.
Proved to be the best that
I feel y'all.
the Knicks made in a very long time.
This is you as a kid walking around the Garden in a Knicks jersey. And now you're playing for the Knicks and kids come to the Garden wearing your jersey. That's cool.
That's crazy.
Really cool.
You know, it says a lot about when a player is just comfortable. Yeah. Right? My dad's
an assistant coach. My two best friends play with me. It says a lot, too, about you have your system, your support group around you. You know, it allows you to be you, and there's comfort there.
Brunson was a breath of fresh air for a franchise that had been struggling. Prior to his arrival, the Knicks had made one playoff appearance in the last 9 years. And in that series, they were embarrassed by the Atlanta Hawks, losing in 5 games. But
I can't understand why we keep losing to Trae Young. Or we kept losing to Trae Young. Not to say like Trae Young not a dog. Trae Young is a dog, but like it's like Trae Young versus New York. The Hawks got his back, yeah, but it's Trae Young really making a statement, making a taunts, turning up on us. Like, what's going on?
with Brunson's arrival, everything changed.
What's going
His
on here,
tenacious
man?
bulldog mentality was perfect for head coach Tom Thibodeau's system.
When I first remember meeting Tibbs was in 8th grade when he was in Chicago. My dad was on staff there, and so he's the same coach, he's the same motivator as he is now. And so to actually be able to play for him is special. It's coming full circle, and so nothing's really surprising me, but I'm up for a challenge.
And as the primary ball handler and focal
My son seen a coach from 8th grade, and now he playing on the team. That's some shit right there. Lie.
point of the offense, he elevated the players around him, like Julius Randle.
But he just made the game a million times easier for me. A million times. Like, I didn't have to work to every single time down the possession. And P, you know how that.
Shout out to Julius Randle. He was once a Knick, New Yorker. He going crazy in the playoffs. Shout out to Randle. He going crazy. He doing his thing. Him, A.E., and them niggas is going crazy out there.
That is, bro. Like, but JB just made the game so much easier.
In his first year at the Knicks, Brunson set career highs with 24 points and 6.2 assists per game. But even more importantly, the Knicks were playing winning basketball again. After finishing 11th in the East the previous year, they jumped to 5th. And their offensive rating improved from 22nd in the league to 3rd. It was night and day. And in the playoffs that year, Brunson was special. He led the Knicks to their first playoff series win since 2012, as they beat the Cavs in the first round 4-1. And Jalen led all scorers with 24 points per game. They went on to lose in the conference semifinals against the Miami Heat, but it was no fault of Jalen Brunson. He put together several impressive performances, including an insane 41 points in their Game 6 elimination game. He again led the series in scoring, averaging 31 points per game. Despite the loss, basketball was being restored in New York. It was all thanks to an undersized, unathletic second-round pick.
I'm a guy who works hard, will do anything it takes to win, sacrifice a lot. I don't want to come here and...
How you calling him unathletic? That boy could dunk. He probably don't be catching dunks, catching bodies, you feel me? But he catch a dunk.
Expect everything from everyone here on this team. I want to earn it. I want to earn that respect. I want them to see that this is what I'm about. X's and O's, all that stuff, yeah, that's basketball, but like the things that can help us on the court to create better chemistry, it's going to help us.
But when the 23-24 season rolled around, Brunson and the Knicks had to prove that this wasn't just a one-off. They not only had to back up the previous year, they needed to build on it. So, what did Brunson do? He did what he always does, and answered the call. He set career highs yet again, averaging 28.7 points and 6.7 assists
steady
per game.
balling. He been balling. He been doing this.
Some incredible performances, like when he went for a career-high 61 points against the Spurs, or when he tied the NBA record for the most threes in a game without a miss, with 9 against the Suns.
That's good. A 50-point night for Jalen Brunson, and he's 9 of 9 from 3.
He also became the 4th Knick ever to score 40 or more points in back-to-back games, and tied the Knicks' 30-point game record for a single season with 36. On top of that, for the first time in his career, he was named an All-Star and stood in Madison Square Garden with thousands of fans chanting MVP.
A history of winning.
Damn, son, where'd you get that?
Started with the 65 Gators, losing steam, losing sweat. The solution? A drink that hydrates better than water and change the game forever.
Actually, we called our stuff Gatorade. Type of shit I'm on, you want nothing.
Drag
Type
that
of
in.
hits I'm on, you want nothing. Damn, big bro.
Yes. There's a lot
Not
of
food,
places
Joe.
you can get samples, but none of them compare to CoProducer, an incredible new plugin from Output. I never have to leave my DAW. I could search exactly what I'm looking for, and I could browse the best quality samples instantly.
I mean, I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say.
Fully realizing what he meant to the city and that the work he put in was all worth it. The season was historic for Brunson, but it was also huge for the Knicks, who finished second in the East. And for all their accomplishments, what were they given? A brutal first-round playoff matchup with the 76ers, who just got Joel Embiid back from injury. Not to mention, Julius Randle had been injured during the regular season and ruled out for the year. But despite many thinking the Knicks would lose the series, they proved why they were the second seed in the East. And, well, they also had Jalen Brunson. At the start of the series, Brunson played well, scoring 22, 24, and 39 points respectively. But when it came time to close out the Sixers in 6 games, he went nuclear, doing something we haven't seen in the playoffs since Michael Jordan. For the last 3 games of the series, Brunson had 3 consecutive 40-plus point games, reaching a level of play nobody could have seen coming. But unfortunately for the Knicks, what they couldn't see coming was the slew of injuries that hit them during their second-round series against the Pacers. In Game 1, the Knicks pulled out a win, thanks to another 40-plus point game from Jalen Brunson. He became just the 4th player ever to have 4 straight 40-plus point playoff games. But New York lost center Mitchell Robinson early in the game to a fractured ankle. Then in Game 2, the Knicks once again found a way to win. But OG Anunoby picked up a hamstring injury that kept him out for pretty much the remainder of the series.
Damn, OG.
Injuries
Why you looking
piling up,
like that,
the pace
nigga?
injury that kept him out
OG out here looking freaky as shit. What you doing?
for pretty much the remainder of the series. With the injuries piling up, the Pacers took the next 2 games at home. But Brunson stepped up to stop the bleeding with a 44-point Game 5. This, however, was the Knicks' final stand. They lost the next 2 games with Josh Hart getting hurt in Game 6 and then Brunson himself fracturing his left hand in Game 7. But that shouldn't take away from the season he had.
The amount of times I hear from people or coaches or whatever, like, oh, you're playing great, like, don't worry about it. I'm just, in my head, I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I know I could be playing better.
Tired is for the weak. Mentally strong. Go.
Jalen Brunson has almost single-handedly revived one of the biggest franchises in the NBA, shining in a city where the lights have proved to be too bright for so many others. And if history tells us anything, he'll be back
I don't like how they did that and put Melo.
He'll be better than ever. Thanks for watching Nonstop. And hey, if you like this video, then we've got another one for you right here. See you next time. He looks like MJ, he plays like MJ, and he's currently the most unstoppable one-man offense in basketball. And because he's also funny and super charismatic, Anthony Edwards has become a new face of the NBA. But his road to superstardom was far from easy. Ant's life was filled with tragedy. His story is one of perseverance and achieving the American dream through adversity. This is the incredible story of Anthony Edwards, a guy who originally wanted to be an NFL player, but instead became an NBA superstar. While most players get their nickname when they get to the NBA, Anthony got his when he was 3. His father called him Ant-Man, but other than the nickname and athletic genes, he didn't contribute much to his son's life. Instead, Anthony was raised by his mother and grandmother, who were his biggest cheerleaders. However, Ant-Man wasn't dominating in basketball, but in football. When Anthony was 7 years old, he was bigger, taller, and faster than everybody else. Large feet and hands, strong calves and joints, boosted with almost unnatural athleticism, were a package that made him unstoppable on the football field. Anthony could have been a running back, a cornerback, or a wide receiver in the NFL. But after he saw one of his brothers dunk, Edwards started to fall in love with basketball. However, his mother insisted that he stick with football because she believed he could become a pro and bring his family out of poverty. But then, at the age of 13, one injury changed his career trajectory. Ant broke his left ankle so badly during a football game that he was limping to school for the next few months. And when he returned, he wasn't the same player anymore. Like, he got bit by a radioactive spider or something. Anthony's athleticism tripled after the injury. His left leg had gotten so much stronger and bouncier, like someone installed a trampoline in it. He could take off and fly like never before, dunking for the first time at age 14. And when he got that first taste of the rim, Ant-Man couldn't get enough of it. All he wanted to do was to play basketball and shatter rims in every gym he went to. But even though he bulldozed through opponents because of his athletic ability, his overall game was far from perfect. And then Ant met a man who would change his life. It was Justin Holland, an Atlanta-based skills trainer who saw enormous potential in the 14-year-old Edwards. Holland challenged Edwards and started pushing his buttons. And this kind of tough love was something Anthony responded to, because it was the same way his mother pushed him all his life. And even though Holland's workouts were tough and exhausting, Ant kept coming for more. The duo would spend hours in the gym throughout high school, and Holland would sometimes spend more time with Edwards than with his own family. The initial focus of their practices was on shooting, shot selection, and ball handling, because Edwards knew how to get to the rim, but couldn't shoot at all. At the time, Ant said to Holland that if he was able to improve his shot, nobody would be able to stop him. And that's exactly what happened. Holland kept pushing Edwards, who proved to be a true gym rat and wanted to soak up basketball knowledge like a sponge. While his classmates were out drinking and partying, Edwards was spending his evenings in the gym with his trainer. But then, tragedy struck. On January 5th, 2015, when Anthony was still only 14 years old, his mother lost a long battle with cancer. And just 8 months later, cancer claimed another member of his family, his grandmother, which left Anthony without the two biggest cornerstones of his life. His older brothers and sister took legal custody of him. However, they were still only teenagers, not financially able to support themselves and their younger brother. Anthony was never in a stable place, moving from home to home, and those circumstances could have completely wrecked anybody's will to play sports, but not Edwards. Despite those horrible losses and tough living conditions,
I ain't gonna front. Ant-Man came from a tough background. I ain't gonna lie to you, you feel me? Losing a mom is something that none of us, unless you lost your mother, can speak on. You feel me? Like, and God willing, I have mine, but I could always think about some scary or a dream, you feel me? Like a damn dream, like some crazy shit. But you know what I'm talking about. He's strong. He had to keep fighting, keep that will.
Man pushed through the pain and wanted to succeed even more. He started wearing the number 5 because both his mom and grandma passed away on the 5th of the month, and he wanted to pay homage to them in every game he played. However, his road to success was far from easy. Anthony transferred from a public school to Holy Spirit Prep School to improve his academic performance. He knew that if he wanted to stay eligible to practice and play basketball, he needed to get the grades. So he'd wake up earlier than most to make an hour-plus commute each way to his new school, where he had to wear a uniform, go to mass, and where he felt completely out of place. Edwards also reclassed to graduate earlier, which would improve his chances of getting a scholarship. And that meant he needed to take more classes. With extra time in school, basketball practice, and private workouts with Holland, Anthony was exhausted. He didn't get an ounce of special treatment. But one teacher realized how worn out he was and allowed him to sleep in her office during the day so he could be rested for the late practice. Extremely tired from everything, Edwards would just roll out on the carpet and fall asleep in seconds. But all that hard work paid off. He led his high school to a state championship as a junior, and as a senior, he averaged 29 points and 10 rebounds per game, after which he was considered a consensus top 5 recruit in the country and could choose wherever he wanted to go to college. He eventually settled on the Georgia Bulldogs because he wanted to stay close to home, but also because of Coach Tom Crean, who previously coached Dwayne Wade and Victor Oladipo, players Edwards shared many similarities with.
I mean, they came in not highly rated, so they came out.
Little things. Little things that add up to something big through the power of Dell AI with Intel Inside. Delivering wins that change the game for everyone.
A really good player, and Dwayne Wade has had a really good career, so it weighed big on me.
When he first arrived at training camp, his vertical leap measured 39.5 inches. But because of his work ethic, just 2 months later, he improved it to 41.5. In his first college game, Ant-Man scored 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 steals, breaking Dominique Wilkins' record for the most points in a debut for the Bulldogs. Edwards also became the first Bulldog to score 37 points in a game since 1975. And after averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, he was named the Freshman of the Year in the Southeastern Conference. Although the NCAA season had to be canceled due to the pandemic, Edwards showed enough to be considered a top prospect. But he was not a sure thing. Despite working tirelessly to improve his jump shot, Ant shot just 40% from the field and 29% from 3 in his lone season at Georgia. And even with a
crazy point, the crazy fact is that he's one of the best shooters in the NBA right now. He actually is like the leading youngest to make the most. He's like about to catch up to Steph Curry at the same age or some shit like that. He passed Steph Curry at the same age. That's crazy. So, hey, we all know Steph the best shooter in the world. So take that in note.
A shaky jumper, Edwards too often fell in love with shooting, not knowing the difference between the shots he can take and the shots he should take. He wasn't attacking the rim as much as he should based on his athleticism and wasn't exploiting mismatches. Edwards was also a below-average passer, and defensively, he often got beat due to a lack of focus and engagement. Another thing that didn't go in his favor was his indifferent approach to things, and the fact that he said he'd give up basketball completely if he had a chance to play in the NFL. But despite all those question marks, the talent he possessed was too tantalizing for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who selected Edwards with the first overall pick.
With the first pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards from the University of Georgia.
Anthony Edwards with his mother and grandmother with him there in spirit.
And when the 2021 season finally started after a long hiatus due to the pandemic, Ant-Man quickly proved that the Wolves made the right choice. Because Ant, at his core, was a professional bucket getter who could get his shot off against anybody. Even when he was a rookie, there wasn't much a defender could do when Edwards got the ball in isolation. His lightning-quick first step and the ability to finish with both hands through contact made him a nightmare to guard when he turned on the Jets. And because Edwards dribbles with both hands and can get his
Ant-Man became a beast. He became a dog. Like, he was a dog already, but once he got his focus up and understand what he is capable of, it became crazy. Look at Moneybag Yo sitting there. Memphis. He's from Memphis and the Wolves playing. Oh, that's Job Pops too right there.
shot up from left
he
and
became
right
a
dribbles.
dog.
It opens up great possibilities when attacking. In addition, Ant-Man was also able to knock down sidestep and step-back jumpers, which made him even more unpredictable. And if everything else failed, Edwards' athleticism could always bail him out, and some of his dunks were absolutely filthy. As a rookie, Ant averaged 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, finishing second in the Rookie of the Year voting behind LaMelo Ball. And apart from his success on the court, fans fell in love with his personality off the court. Unapologetically himself, confident, and full of youthful charm.
But I was 4th, 5th hitter. You know what that means.
Clean up. Yeah.
Straight cleanup on aisle 3. Come get it.
Ant-Man immediately became a star. Before his sophomore season, Edwards grew because he was still a teenager, now measuring at 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan. And apart from being literally a bigger physical threat, Edwards' jumper began falling more regularly. And in his second season, he improved his effective field goal percentage from 49% to 53%, averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. But even more importantly, he brought a winning attitude to the team, and the Timberwolves made the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, and only the second time since 2004. In his playoff debut against Memphis, Ant scored 36 points with 6 assists in a 130-117 Game 1 win. Even though the Wolves
fucking jump shot is
lost
pure.
the series in 6 games, Edwards was the best scorer, averaging 25 points and over 40% shooting for 3. This success prompted the Wolves management to cash in on the plethora of draft picks and shooting for 3. This success prompted the Wolves management to cash in on the plethora of draft picks they accumulated over the years to maximize their potential while Ant-Man was still on a rookie deal. So they traded for Rudy Gobert to bring a defensive presence inside. And despite being the youngest player on the team at only 21 years, Ant became a team leader, both on and off the court.
Hey, man, we still got games to play. I know we had 1-1, but we still got games to play, man.
In his third season, Edwards led the Timberwolves in scoring with 24.6 points per game, and his numbers improved across the board. He also made the All-Star team for the first time.
But we actually were able to add 2 All-Stars this year. League called Anthony Edwards.
But just like he did a year before, he saved his best for the playoffs. Very few players improve their numbers and efficiency in the postseason when defenses dial in and every possession matters. And it's even more
Going up
rare
on
that
Steven Adams ain't no joke. That boy went belly to belly with that guy.
it
Or did
happens
he?
for such a young player. But that's exactly what Ant-Man did, proving that he's the best when it matters the most. In Game 2 of the first-round series against the Nuggets, Edwards put up 41 points in a 122-113 loss, which set a franchise record for the most points scored in a playoff game, surpassing Sam Cassell's loss, which set a franchise record for the most points scored in a playoff game, surpassing Sam Cassell's previous record of 40. Then, in Game 3, Edwards scored 36 points, joining Kobe Bryant with the second most 30-point playoff game games before turning 22. In Game 4, Edwards had 34 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks, and scored a crucial three-pointer to lead the Timberwolves to a 114-108 overtime win. But there was no stopping Jokic that year, and the Wolves lost in the first round again.
Ain't got to worry about him now.
Leading all scorers in the series with 31 points per game. And while the world mocked the Timberwolves for making the Gobert trade,
you're asking me to fly you.
Now look at them. The boys is there.
The clock is ticking, Ethan. Everything you are, everything you've done has come to this.
Rated PG-13.
Lesson number 3. They won't feel your fit out there until you feel it in here.
which seemingly hurt the team's chemistry, spacing, and most importantly, their Gobert trade, which seemingly hurt the team's chemistry, spacing, and most importantly, their winning percentage. Things changed in the 23-24 season. Minnesota won 56 games in the regular season, their second best result ever, and Edwards further established himself as an NBA superstar. With 26, 5, and 5, he improved in nearly all statistical categories and made the All-Star team. And once again, he raised his game in the playoffs, where he further separated himself from other All-Stars, who routinely average fewer points and whose shooting percentages fall off a cliff in the postseason. But Ant-Man is built differently. In the first round against the Suns, Edwards led all scorers with 31 points per game, shooting a crazy efficient 51% from the field and 44% from deep. He also led Minnesota in assists and steals, proving wrong all the doubters who questioned his defensive focus and playmaking ability. But even more importantly, Minnie swept the Suns.
Take y'all home! Take y'all home! Tell them take them home, Mario!
Which was their first series win in 20 years. He also surpassed Kevin Garnett for the most 30-point playoff games in Timberwolves franchise history with 8. And in the second round, Ant-Man showed why you can never count him out. Against the Nuggets, Minnesota won the first 2 games, but after Denver rattled off 3 straight wins, the series looked all but over.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have me looking like I have made the worst prediction in the history of my career.
Then, in Game 6, Ant was a two-way menace. He led all scorers with 27 points, but the Wolves' stifling defense really made the difference. They had 9 steals as a team, and Edwards had 3 of them, as they cruised to a 115-70 victory. The Wolves carried that momentum into Game 7. Ant struggled on the offensive end, but played phenomenal defense once again, and Minnie closed out the series away from home. Anthony Edwards led the Timberwolves back to the conference finals for the first time in 20 years. Their opponent was the Dallas Mavericks, and after some amazing performances from Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, they defeated Minnesota. But Ant-Man won over the hearts of all NBA fans during the playoff run. He has everything you want in a superstar. Confidence? Check. High-scoring numbers and filling up the stat sheet? Check. Insane dunks and mesmerizing highlights? Check. But on top of all that, it's Edwards' character that separates him from everybody else.
Them earrings you got on right now?
Fake. They just look good, so.
The shoes you got on right now?
Nah, they real.
In his interviews, he doesn't stop smiling. He never backs down. And in a loss, he takes responsibility and puts the blame on himself.
It was a step behind everybody, especially myself. Kyrie got a transition layup from, I think we scored, and he just outran me, and I was just exhausted, man, so.
Anthony Edwards is him, and it's surreal that he's only 22 years old.
Real.
With his insane work.
That's real. That's real. He came from a crazy-ass background. He knows his own mistakes. He take accountability. Ant-Man is him. I ain't gonna cap. I respect him. He real.
Ethic, he's continued to get better every season, and we know for certain that on the biggest stage, he's going to deliver every time. Thanks for watching Nonstop. For more of the best NBA content, check out our other videos on the screen now.
Sum up. They got some good ass videos. What up? You good? Hi. You good? Huh? It's all good though. As long as we could work, right? I'm on Twitch right now. It's live. Still got to grind. That's what it is.
Is that Chris?
It's one of my favorite YouTubers. Y'all got sub up. My boy be having some good stories. He calm, vibe, chill, shit lit. I ain't gonna lie. This is a crazy video though. I know that. Boss man D-Lo, ayo.
Let me find out, man. Let me find out that boss man D-Lo stand for something else. Let me find out you put the D in D-Lo for real. No, I'm just playing. But in all seriousness though, bro, situations like this be so crazy. Because to be honest, bro, find out you put the D, man. Let me find out that boss man D-Lo stand for something else. Let me find out you put the D in D-Lo for real. No, I'm just playing. But in all seriousness though, bro, situations like this be so crazy. Because to be honest, bro, I always say, bro, if somebody like that and they doing that in the street, bro, your best bet is just come out and say you're gonna do it, because at the end of the day, you can only keep it on low for so long. The moment you don't give people in that community no money, or you don't do something they like, or they make you mad, you will be exposed. So eventually it was going to come out anyway. Now listen, I ain't saying you get down that way, but the evidence that this person just pulled up is kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, that's your life. Who am I to tell you what to do and what not to do? Man, what is good, YouTube? Y'all already know who it is. It's Lucas J here, y'all. Back with another video, man. And today, y'all, we got a crazy and a wild video to talk about. Now, it seems like we got Boss Man D-Lo on the roster. And it seems like he's been trending all over social media after a content creator that happens to be from the other community pretty much has exposed him and tried to put him out for some type of financial disagreements or whatever the case may be. Now we're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna show y'all everything that's going on social media. But before we do, real quick, y'all know my routine, man. Just hit that like button and comment, tap in if y'all tapped in down below, and also smash that notification bell so that I can keep y'all updated on this situation.
On a fucking
And y'all can just be
tripod.
notified anytime I drop a video.
Little tripod.
Now, as I said, it seems like we got Boss Man D-Lo back on the roster again, and it is not looking good. Now, y'all know it's so crazy. Around this time last year, he was getting into a situation where he got exposed. Also, but it was about Tia Kemp for exposing his brother for having a quote-unquote chicken nugget, a shrimp, whatever you want to call it. Y'all remember the picture got leaked of brother with the meat out, and it was going up on him. Well, it seemed like this time it got a little darker. A man that goes by the name of Timmy Blank, because I don't want to necessarily get into it on clout, has pretty much allegedly exposed Boss Man D-Lo for texting him and some things going wrong with money. Now, he ended up putting up a post, right? And it said, he vanished mode me after that, but hey, I got his number and we was texting. They don't call him D-Lo for nothing. Follow my Finsta to get messages, and I'm going to keep posting more of y'all favorite rappers if they keep playing with me. Now, of course, y'all probably look at that like, oh, he capping. Y'all know how it go, bro. A lot of these dudes always do that. For some reason, people from that community tend to try to pull that stunt and try to make rappers look bad to come up. It's just like a way of like clout, you feel me? But you end up going to his story and things went left. Now you go to his story and the first thing you see is literally Boss Man D-Lo, you feel me? In his DM, and it says like a question mark and dude says, hey, right? Now, of course, that's not good. You like, that don't make sense. You can edit that, whatever the case may be. And right after that, he put up a post again with Boss Man D-Lo number, right? And he said, y'all, the way he thought I was going to link him for free is crazy. I'm going to post a message on my other page. Now, of course, that's somebody named as Boss Man D-Lo. But we like, at the end of the day, you could text yourself, you feel me? And literally edit the name and say Boss Man D-Lo. Now, right after that, he exposed some allegedly messages, right? As y'all see, I'm not even gonna read all that, but you can see multiple messages with him and the Boss Man.
I'm gonna pause it. Whoever see this video could beat it. Now we're gonna continue because you can pause it for the rest.
And then dude went on to say he don't want no puppy, he want a Benson Barbie. Now I'm like, at this point, bro, this dude chasing clout, whatever, man. He went on to the story, and this way get ugly. He said, I would have kept it on the D-Lo if you didn't waste my time trying to get this Benson for free. Bro, what the fuck does that even mean? So, of course, everybody's like, it's fake. You ain't showing no real proof. We ain't got no FaceTime evidence or none of the case may be. But it seems like this is what things get ugly when the dude literally goes to his phone and shows Boss Man D-Lo actual page and the messages in them. Now he.
What's up, America?
I don't know.
Boy Ice-T. And if you know me, you know I love my cars. No matter how much I love them, I know they're gonna break down. And that's why
Put that video up, and as y'all seen the caption, it says, "Babe, ain't none fake." He literally texted me the whole time in vanish mode and sent me his number. And then he went on to follow that story up and said, "Moral of the story is your favorite rappers are my missions. I don't usually do this, LOL, but he literally asked me to buy my own flight to Orlando and munch on him for free. Maybe if he would have started the conversation off nice and wasn't on some hornball ish, this wouldn't be out right now." And as y'all see, he went on to expose dude and said the reason why he exposed him is because, you know, pretty much he wanted Bossman D-Lo wanted dude to munch on him for the free. Now listen, bro, I don't even really want to go in too much on that situation because I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not. Granted, the dude just put some DMs and pretty much showed proof that they have been conversating. But at the end of the day, that's to each his own. Now, this is what I don't understand about this situation, right? I be in the mix of little things, right? Because I know for a fact, if that's really true, which I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I'm not saying it is, that's not the first or the last person that's ever done that. Little do y'all know, it's probably a lot of transsexuals, you feel me? People that happen to go both ways, or guys that like guys. It's a lot of rappers and athletes in their DMs. Little do y'all know, they just got an NDA or they just keep it on low. Like, that's just what it is. Some people like what they like. And it's like a lot of times fantasies for dudes, whatever. I don't know, you feel me? But that just was going on with some of them. But this be my thing, right? I could care less about Boss Man D-Lo is going that way. That has nothing to do with me. What a man does with his Johnson has nothing to do with me. But this be my only thing, right? And I want to ask y'all real quick. I want to just see what angle y'all go at. When I see situations like that, I'll be like, see, you exposing people. That's why a situation happen where, you know, people sometimes they get down. You feel what I'm saying? They have violence acted upon them. But then sometimes in the back of my mind, I be wondering, like, maybe that's good that they did expose that. Because let me tell y'all something, bro. It's a lot of these dudes that sleep with people from that community unprotected and be catching stuff and going back and laying with women without letting them know that they're doing that, and they pass stuff on down. Now, I'm not saying that women can't catch nothing or spread nothing either, but y'all get what I'm trying to say, bro. When you out here laying with men unprotected, I feel as though a woman deserves to know that, okay, this is what you got going on, so she could choose whether she want to still agree to lay with you. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's not safe really to be laying with anybody unprotected and going to the next person. That's how you pass on disease and stuff. But like a man at that, that's even crazy. You see what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be surprised. You feel me? I'm not saying that Boss Man D-Lo is that. Let me make this clear. I am not saying that Boss Man D-Lo is that. You feel what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised though, because it's a lot of rappers that's into that. You feel me? Like, you can just look at the way they dress and all that. Y'all may think these dudes that's just style and fashion, though. A lot of these dudes be flamboyant, and it's the industry. Y'all know how the industry is, bro. A lot of these dudes have to do a lot of freaky stuff to get put on. A lot of stuff go on behind closed doors. That's why I tell y'all all the time, don't idolize these rappers, don't idolize that lifestyle, because you don't know what they did to get it. You feel me? Take away the whole Boss Man D-Lo situation. Man, females, bro, they get put on. It's a lot of things they got to do to get put on. Like, I promise you, it's deeper than y'all think. But this the only thing I will say. To little bro, whoever he is, you feel me? If that is tend to be true, you just blew your bag, because whatever people you want to be on the DL with, you feel me? Like, you done blew your opportunity. Nobody's gonna ever trust you again because you exposing people. You feel what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I don't agree with the lifestyle. That's just not me. That's not what I believe in. I feel like men's supposed to be a woman. That's what God created us to be. But all I say is, if you're gonna do that, bro, make sure women are aware, bro. Because you're a rapper that got all this money and you know women want to sleep with you. So at least let them know that that's how you get down, so they can choose whether they still want to be with you. Some of them going to still choose to live with you, but I'm just saying, let people get an option so you can, you know what I'm saying, save some people's life and, you know, take care of some people's health in advance, you know. But give me y'all thoughts and opinions down below, and let me know what y'all think about it. Let me know how y'all feel, bro. Y'all already know who it is, man. It's Lucas J. Thank God for another day, man. Y'all be safe. I love y'all. Christ loves y'all so much more than I ever will. And yeah, bro. I'm out, man.
On the show right there, Boss Man D-Lo put the D in D-Lo. That's crazy.